This week in our 9-week segment of animals and insects, we are going to be drawing a gorilla in kindergarten. And just to give you an idea of exactly what gorillas are and some things about gorillas, gorillas mainly come from, except for the ones that we see in the zoos, of course, sub-Saharan Africa, which means they come from Africa. They live in Africa. That's where the majority of them are and where they originated from. Gorillas are friendly most of the time, but they can be territorial, which means if you go into their territory and maybe try to hurt their infants or offend them somehow, they will retaliate and disturb you back, put it that way, to put it a nice way. And so, for the most part, gorillas are very friendly. There is around 1,063 gorillas that exist in the wild. That's just in the wild. That's not counting the ones that are in the zoos. And gorillas eat all day long. Then they cozy up at nighttime just like most humans. They stay up all day long and then they cozy up and sleep all night. They also, just like humans, they live in groups of family. They keep their families together and live together. And gorillas are very, 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 very strong. And they usually only get to about 5'1", which is pretty short. That's not even average height for a human. That's short for a human. And that's pretty much the gist of gorillas for right now. We'll get to coloring and drawing our gorilla, and you can just follow along with me step by step. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine, as usual. Let's see if I can get this where you can see a little bit better. So basically, we're going to start with a kind of a square-shaped head. We're going to go with sticking with shapes for kindergarten. So you're going to draw a straight line across the top. And I want you to start with pencil because I want you to go all the way through and then go back in and erase. But draw that straight line, and instead of going to a point with your square, kind of round the edge of your square off. And bring it down like a square, but round that edge off. And then straight over like the bottom of your square. And round that off. And then straight up like the other side of your square. And round it off. Like I said, you would have went straight all the way across through here. And on the inside, you're just going to kind of follow along with the flow of the rounded off square, but we're going to round it off even more. Start on one side and round it off even more, and then kind of bring a line down, dip it in, bring that line down to give him more of a rounded gorilla shaped face, because out here's where his fur would be. And bring it on down. And you can go ahead and bring this one down. We're going to come to a point. Bring it in. Bring both sides in to a point. And then bring that point back out and round it out and around. Almost like we're going around his mouth. Now go straight across with a line at the bottom. Like follow along with the bottom of your square. Then round it back up, go around and go to that point. Next, you are going to just simply draw a line that's diagonal and another line that's diagonal, and then add like an upside down U, but kind of more round, to that line, and then a circle on the inside. And later you're going to come in and color those circles in with the black crayon or whatever you have. Or you can do it vice versa. Color this out here black and leave that in the middle white. Whichever way you want to. Now, this, for the nose, we're going to do come right up under the eye, start and go around, dip it down in the middle of his face, between his eyes, and then bring it back around for his nose. And then put 2 oval shapes inside of his nose and color that in. Then for the mouth, we're going to start with a line that going to start from all down here where this comes out, this rounded part comes out, kind of in the middle, and just bring a line straight across. And just in case that marker bleeds through. So I've got all kinds of marker spots all over my table. I'm going to bring that line around and go, keep on going around, bringing it back around to take it up and meet, but don't go all the way to the end. Meet up with the other line. And then you're just going to put some straight lines, however, for teeth, however many you want. And then we're going to do just a little like smiley face line down here to make it look like he has a chin. Next, we're going to add a C shape on the left side of his head, and then another C shape inside of it that connects to his head. That's for his ears. Then we're going to do a backward C shape that connects, and another smaller one inside, C shape backwards, for his other ear. Now down here, we're just going to continue to finish off his body. And you would take and draw straight through right here with a pencil, then go back and erase it. But I'm going to skip over because I have a marker. And this line, you would take a line and go straight like this, but after you add your plant life, it's only going to go from here to here, because that would go all the way around this way. And then you would bring it in, bring another line in for the, after you look at the images of the gorillas that I will save for you, for you to look at. Once you bring those in, you're going to bring another one in. And those would go all the way up to here to meet with that. And this is going to be a lighter gray like this one for the way the images of the gorillas look that you will have, that will be in your module along with this lesson. And then we're just going to add some plant life because they're in the jungle. That's where they live. And remember, that's what they eat all day. They're herbivores, which means they eat plants. And it says that they eat all day long. So just any kind of plant life, you can just bring in like the end of a limb that has some funky leaves on it. Whatever kind of leaves you want. You can shape them however you like. And then you're going to add another one in there. This is where it kind of covers up the parts of that gorilla where we didn't draw the lines. And as I said, you can shape those leaves however you like that comes off of your stems. And these are just some seeds because seeds germinate in different places by being carried by the wind or from animals moving them about in various different ways. So I just added some dots here for seeds that are falling from the plant life that's growing here. And we're going to do another one of those stems with whatever shaped leaf you want to add to them. They can come to a point. You can make them square, doesn't matter. And last, I'm just going to add a vine. And a vine, you're just going to take and bring a line and kind of make it wavy and curve it all different kinds of ways, which however many times you want it to curve. And curve it back up. And you don't have to do that loop-de-loop at the end. If you want to, you can just bring it to a point and then add one at the end if you want to, because this is supposed to be like a flower hanging off the vine. And those can be whatever shape you want those to be too. I'm going to do another vine. You can curve it and shape it however you want. And just add whatever shape flowers you want. It's entirely up to you. Just be as creative as you want to be. And then we will add color. Now, it does not matter what you use if you have markers, crayons, coloring pencils, whatever you have. If not, then that's fine. But I'm going to come on the inside of my ears with pink. And if you don't have a pink and you do have red, what you can do is color it red, use that red crayon and just color very, very, very lightly. Don't bear down or put very much pressure on it at all, and it'll look more pink. And for this part, I was going to come in here with my black crayon. Kind of color that in. And like I said, if you didn't want it colored in, sometimes an eraser will work, sometimes it won't. Just depends. It's art. There's always room for mistakes, and we can always somehow figure out how to cover it up, redo it, or fix it one. So there, I wanted kind of a smoky eye look, and that eraser gave me that. Now, I'm going to continue to finish coloring his face. I'm going to use a black crayon. You can use the darkest one you have. And continue to color the outside, just the outside around here. This rounded off square part. And continue to finish coloring that in. And remember to try to keep your coloring going the same way. I know it's kind of hard in these areas where it's very small, so you may need to change it up a little bit, but it just looks a whole lot smoother if you keep it going the same way. And I'm going to color his ears in. Then we're going to take the top part, all of this in here, until we reach that line where it turns a lighter color. I'm just gonna change my direction here so I don't run out of the lines. And we're going to make sure we don't color inside of where that line's at, where it's supposed to be gray in there. Then we're going to come in with the gray parts. And if you don't have a gray crayon, it'll still work because you can take and put very little pressure, color very lightly, and it looks gray. So if you don't have gray and you only have black, that's the way you can get that gray effect. See? It's the same color as if you were coloring with pressing a little harder with a gray. So you would use a black and just not press very hard at all. So you would get a lot of white to show through, so it would be more gray. And then we're just going to color his whole entire face in, except for inside of his mouth. Do not color his teeth unless you feel like him having some colorful teeth. Stick with leaving his teeth white. And just finish coloring the rest of his face in except for his teeth. Now, we're going to color our plant life. And you can color your little branches, stems, brown, whatever color you want. I have 2 different kinds of greens, so I'm going to color with a lighter green and then go with a darker green for the rest of the leaves. And color those leaves in. Actually, I can take that from under there now. Going to do the same thing up here. And just finish coloring those in green. And I'm also going to color my seeds in green because my leaves are green. And generally, your seeds come from your stems and your leaves of whatever plant life you're looking at. And you can color your vines whatever color you want to color your vines, but I'm going to color this one brown. And just because it's brown doesn't mean it's like a dead vine. Some vines are just brown in color. And they're perfectly healthy. Then I'm just going to color the flowers any old color I can think of that I want them to be. And now, and I see where I had left a spot blank on this one. Now I'm going to color my whole entire background in yellow. You can color it in blue, yellow, just whatever color background you think that this gorilla would have being in the jungle in Africa. And just finish coloring in your background. Once you have your background colored in completely and you're satisfied with how your gorilla looks and your coloring and everything, you just take and snap a picture of it with a cell phone or whatever you have to snap a picture of it with, and upload it to your computer, to the files, and or email it to yourself and save it in files. And then you go to your submit button to turn in your work and go to files and double click it there, and it should go right in to submit, and you just hit submit and it sends it right in to me so I can give you your grade. And there we have our gorilla for kindergarten this week. Hope you enjoyed.